What is the real estate market doing in West Fargo, North Dakota? West Fargo is one of the fastest growing suburbs of this Fargo-Moorhead metro, obviously located on the west side, growing to almost 50,000 people now. West Fargo is very unique because almost everything south of the interstate has been built within the last 20 years, and they're continuing to build homes, especially down in the wilds, down in southwest Fargo. But it still has the old area of West Fargo too, over on the north side above the interstate by Charleswood. So what is the real estate market doing in West Fargo? What do the numbers say? Are houses moving? Are houses selling? How much money are they selling for? I'll be answering all these questions and more later in this video with the stats, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But all of this is situational. If you want more information on your specific situation, this is just a general overview and it's not going to be helpful to you. If you want more information on your specific situation, your house, your price point, if you're thinking of moving to West Fargo, you can reach out to me through all my contact information that is down in the description below. I'd be happy to help you out or give you some consultation or some advice. But this video is just a general overview on the real estate market here in West Fargo, North Dakota. So we'll hop right into it with some stats here. So we'll hop right into the market trends here. We can see this is an overview graph, and you can see this kind of little scale between seller's market, balanced market, and buyer's market. And you can see it's on the seller's side right now. But this does not tell the whole story when people are looking at the real estate market. The only thing that this scale goes off of is the months of inventory, which is 3.14. And the only thing that the months of inventory goes off of is the number of houses on the market. It does not take into account interest rates, does not take into account buyer activity, that does not take into account how serious buyers are looking right now and how many offers are being written on properties and how many showings those properties are having. Ultimately, that is what matters when selling your home. Showings, offers, and strong offers. The number of other houses does not matter. Even though this says it's a seller's market, that does not tell the whole story, and you'll see later in this video the numbers that will tell the whole story of what the market's actually doing right now. So it is, in all technicality, a seller's market, but realistically, it's more of a balanced market or even slightly a buyer's market right now in West Fargo, just with the time of year and how the real estate market is going. But you'll see the full breakdown of that later in this video. So I'm just saying that not for the reason to don't think of this number or don't think it's important, but I say that you need to know what the stats mean, what these numbers mean, and don't take it with a grain of salt. You know, this number is not the tell-all of the real estate market. It's a big part of it and it's important, but it's not the tell-all. Then you can see the sold to list ratio is 98.7%. It's under 100%. I'll tell you why that's important later in this video. Median days in market is up almost 30%. That's very important, and I'll tell you that later in this video too. Again, this is just a summary page, and then the median sold price is $372. So this is a summary. We'll hop right into the next one, the median property value. And the one thing I just want to point out with this one, obviously, West Fargo, I mentioned in the beginning, is the fastest growing part of this metro along with Horace. But look at the price point. So we can see median estimated value of around $378 here in West Fargo. That's that little blue line right here. So you can see that's right along the average of the whole entire United States. But look how significantly higher it is than the city, the Cass County, and North Dakota. So West Fargo is generally a more expensive area for a couple of reasons. One of them being almost everything south of the interstate has been built in the last 20 years. So newer houses, bigger houses are going to be more expensive houses. So that's a big part of why that number is where that number is. Not necessarily meaning that expensive is bad or expensive is good. It's just something to keep in mind if you're relocating here to the Fargo-Moorhead area. West Fargo is generally going to be a little bit more expensive than Fargo and Moorhead. Fargo's average number is around $350,000. So I mean, $30,000 isn't a huge difference, but obviously it's still $30,000 in the median estimated value. Then Moorhead's around $275,000, so that's a big jump. And again, these numbers are the general numbers for the whole entire area. So of course you're gonna have pockets of houses in Moorhead that are more expensive than, West Fargo, and vice versa and that sort of thing. So it's just, this is the overall broad number, so it's just something to keep in mind, but generally the houses in West Fargo are gonna be a little bit more expensive than North Dakota, than Fargo, and it's gonna be very similar to what the US average is for home prices. So we'll hop right into the next graph here, the months of supply. This is what I talked about earlier. The way they get this number is they look, if houses stop coming on the market today, it would take 3.14 months for those houses to sell. That's the only thing they look at. So they don't look at buyer demand, and they don't look at how many buyers are actually buying houses right now. That's huge, and they do not look at that with this number. But you can generally see this number fluctuates between 2 and 4, usually stays in that range, sometimes dips slightly below or slightly above. That's where North Dakota and the Fargo real estate market specifically is going to be. And that's why the scale doesn't really make sense sometimes, because it says that 6 is kind of that middle number, 6 months of inventory where it's a balanced market. But as you can see in Fargo and West Fargo, that number's never even got close to 5, barely even over 4. So that's kind of where the balanced market is in Fargo specifically, is around 3, just with generally lower inventory we do have here in this specific market. So that's market specific. The whole entire general overview is for the country. So that's why it's important to look at these stats and know what they mean with the real estate market, because the national news does not apply to West Fargo, or it may apply a little bit, but not as full as some people may expect. Next one, and this was a big one I talked about earlier, the median days in market for active listings. You can see it's up 15% to 53 median days in the market. The huge thing with this number is you can see a bunch of fluctuations on this graph, but if you look at them, it's at the same time every single year. It's December, it's November, it's January. That's when houses are sitting on the market for the longest time. And that's the same thing that's happening this year. As you can see, it's going to go up. It's going to go up in November. It's going to go up in December, because that's the time of year. The only reason I say this is expectations. If you're a seller looking to sell your home right now, your house can still sell. Your house still will sell, but it's going to take longer. It's going to sit on the market longer. The median days in market, of course, pricing is huge right now. I made a whole video on the 5 things you cannot overlook as a seller right now if you're looking to sell in the winter months. You can check that out on my channel. But the winter market, it's going to take longer to sell your house. It's holiday season. People have activities, people have traveling, people have family over. They're not moving. It's negative 20 degrees out. It's windy. No one wants to move. And it's just that time of year where stuff isn't really happening. So you just got to keep these things in mind. If you're looking to move right now, you can still sell your house. You can still buy a house. Buying a house is great right now. There's not as many people moving. You'll see that later in this video too. But you gotta know it's gonna take longer for you to sell your house. Next up is the total number of active listings. We can see 163. Now, where I see how I determine buyer demand is by this. So we look at new listings and over to pending listings. Pending listings is up 50%. So these are about a 1 month behind. The pending listings is about 1 month behind the active listings. The sold listings are about 2 months behind the active listings and 1 month behind the pending listings. And the reason for that is this. So house is on the market right now. You go look at it today. You're interested in it today. You write an offer on that house. It's going to close in 60 days. And it's not going to go pending until about 20 days after you're through your inspection period. So from now, about a month, 20 to 30 days for that inspection until it's pending. Then another month until it actually closes. So these numbers are 1 month behind. So this was the activity, 74 pending listings a month ago. Then we'll go to the sold listings later. That'll be the activity 2 months ago. So that's why those numbers are higher right now, even though there's not as many people moving right now. So that was the last push before the winter. As you'll see here, it's up 48% before the winter starts. And now this number is going to be going up 1 more month, and then it's going to go down. You can look back here. New listings is up 11%. That number generally just stays the same. You can see there's a little bit of an outline here for circles for new listings coming on the market, with the down low of being December and January. Not as many people are putting on their house on the market. People don't want to have to get out of their house for showings or for cleaning it when you have holidays, people over, friends, family coming all over the country, that sort of thing. So it's going to go down again. I guarantee it in December. Active listings stays generally the same. Has a little bit ups and downs, but it stays generally the same. That's a total number of active listings on the market. Then we can see the sold to list ratio is another huge one. If you're selling your house right now, you need to know how much money you're getting from selling. And this is part of the reason why pricing is so important. If someone sees 2 houses on the market that are the exact same house, but one is $30,000 more than the other because they wanted to test the market, that's going to help sell the competition, which is the lower price house that's right at market value. Because that's what buyers are thinking about when they're buying houses, is the price, and they're comparing it to what else is on the market, because they're going to look at more than one house before they decide to purchase one. On average, people will look at 7 to 8 houses before they write an offer on one. It may be higher, it may be lower, but people are not just looking at one house. we can see the sold to list percentage is 98.72%. Now, the only major thing I want to point out with this is look at the generality. Look at the history of this graph. We can see generally it sits between 99 and 101%, right in this little section right here. Right now, we're below that. There's only been one other time, February of 24, where it's been below that 99% mark. This is huge for a couple of reasons. People are overpricing their homes. They're taking price drops and price cuts to get their house sold. And buyers are going in aggressive, is what that means. And it's working. Because people are not able to sell their house right now because it's a winter market and there's not as many people looking. So this obviously is a general thing. It's very situational. But this is the overview. Again, there's houses that'll sell for over list price right now. But there's also listings that'll sell for $30,000 under list price because those sellers are motivated or because they overpriced their home. So that's just something to consider with this. Keep this number in mind. And that's a good thing for buyers right now. You can go after houses a little bit, negotiate a little bit more, be a little bit more picky. But that's the thing with sellers. You need to price your home accurately. Your house will sell if you price it accurately. It's going to take a little bit longer. And you may need to do a price drop or two, but it will sell if you price it accurately. So that's why it's so huge. And again, these numbers are the general overview. That's all we've been saying this whole video. And that's what you need to keep in mind. We can look at the sold listings up 30%. This was the thing I was talking about earlier. This is 2 months behind because properties that's got under contract 2 months ago are now closing. That's what these sold listings is. This number is going to go up next month because the pending listings is up 48%. And then we'll see what happens next month. But my guess is it's going to go down. It's December. After this month, the month beforehand will be November, which is Thanksgiving. That number will go down again. So that was that last push before the year. We're getting into that slower time in the real estate market. Just something to keep in mind. And obviously, this is all part of the strategy if you're buying or selling a home of, if you're an investor, now's a great time to buy because there's no competition. You can negotiate a little bit more. You can be more picky. If you're a seller, you can still sell. But the great thing as a seller is if you're someone who needs to sell your current home to take care of that equity to put into a next home, now is a great time for a ROFR or for a subject owner purchase, which means you can write an offer contingent on selling your current home. Now is a great time for that in the market that you may not have opportunity to do that during the spring when it's busy because there's more competition and less contingent offers. So stuff like that, it makes it awesome to sell your home right now depending on the situation, but you need to price your home accurately. If I could tell you that 1,000 times, I've probably already said 1,000 times in this video, price your home accurately is the hugest thing right now in the real estate market. And if you're a buyer, be aggressive, go look at houses, and don't be afraid to negotiate. But it's all situational too. Your situation is a lot different if you're in West Fargo, if you're in a new area West Fargo versus old West Fargo, or if you're in a condo versus a single family. So if you want more information on what the market is like for your specific situation, your specific house, your specific price point, you can reach out to me for more information or for some consultation on your specific situation. All my contact information is in the description below. And this video was on the real estate market here in West Fargo, North Dakota as we look forward to 2026. If you have any more questions or thoughts on this video, leave them in the comments below, but I appreciate you guys watching.